All right, what's up, worldwide family? Apparently, when I said it wasn't goodbye, it was goodbye. So welcome back to the channel, Jimmy Flippin' Deals. Thank you so much for joining me. Apparently, I hit the wrong button on this, so this will be part 2 of the video. So be it. It is what it is. So I am done with, almost done with the GoDaddy photo or the login rant. Long story short on that, they said it's going to be up to 3 days just to be able to log into my GoDaddy account, what's left of it. So for anybody that didn't watch the last video, GoDaddy is bad, okay? I mean, like, it's horrible. I switched to Shopify. They don't pay me to tell you that. They don't, not at all. Maybe they should. Maybe I ought to talk to them. However, because I do believe in them, stay away from GoDaddy. Do yourself a favor. Long story short, that is the long story short. So, there you go. All right, so broke the phone in the last video, or I told y'all about it. I told y'all about working on getting logged into all my other stuff. There has been a very decent amount of packages go out during this President's Day weekend thing, which was super cool because I heard the dog absolutely losing her marbles outside. And I looked, and it's the post lady. Like, she's right there, right? You know, I got all my stuff real quick, then I had to hunt her down, but did not have to go to the drop. And she's like, man, this can be so much easier on you. Just fill out the darn form on the internet. So, you know, if my stuff's, if it's raining or whatever, I haven't got those boxes out yet, but from what she's saying, I can just leave the box out there the way it is, or put it in a tote, put it up, covered up, like she doesn't care where she picks up packages at. It doesn't matter to her. So I could, on the site, apparently put in, hey, I got 7 packages for you to pick up. And she said that the quantity really doesn't matter either, because that way you can do them in advance. She said you can schedule them every day for like a year out or a year and a half out. I forget what she said. But just put a note in there, you know, pick up in tote, pick up in box, pick up in whatever, pick up inside gate, pick up, you know, hit under a rock. I don't care. Just let me know. That way you don't have to go. So I'm definitely leaning that way. You know, I pull up to her. I had to track her down in the neighborhood because she zigged while I was getting my packages. So it was a little 5-minute hunt, but it did expedite things ultimately. And I found her, and I got this, you know, 27-gallon tote, you know, and I'm, hey, you know, you can't see both of that, but, you know, bigger than this, you know, but hey, I got packages. She's like, yeah. She undoes the back of her truck, and she doesn't scan them, but she's always good about scanning them by the end of the day. She scans them as they come off her truck, and she's the same lady. It's the same person that does my packages at my drop anyway, you know. So it's like I haven't even changed personnel with this new process. Once it comes into effect fully, I've just eliminated the storage people. Now, in a manner of speaking, that is safekeeping, right? You know, but we'll have to play it by ear. I think this is going to be good. I am concerned for things like when it gets too hot. But I've thought about, since they're metal boxes, possibly turning them into those thermoelectric coolers, which at the worst typically run about 70 degrees. You know, that would cut out the heat of everything if I could get the box insulated properly and stuff. So that's an option, like, that I'm truly playing with to make it better during the hotter months. Another thing is the lunchbox mentality with the that little thing you can stick in your lunchbox as a kid or maybe as an adult. I don't know. I stopped doing it as an adult because I stopped carrying a lunchbox. But there's a little freezer pack that you can put in your lunchbox and keeps your lunch cool till lunch, which my packages are picked up most of the time by 10 a.m. and then they're in the air conditioning. So really, in all honesty, when you come to think about it like that, it may not be as critical as what I think. A in and out exhaust fan might be enough to keep the air circulating, to keep things cool enough. I know in the back of trucks that things get super, super hot. I just want to really limit their exposure to the top end and bottom end of those degree changes. I know those temperature flexes do horrible damage, whether it takes short term or long term. Damage to adhesives, to plastics, to lots of things. Oh my God, let me tell you. This coffee is good. That's not what I was going to say, but it is. Pecan praline, hazelnut creamer, and enough sugar to make a diabetic. Oh my goodness. Alright, so yesterday was the first experiment last night with the sealer and the shrink wrap and all that stuff. And let me first preface this by saying I bought it for lots of reasons. Ultimately, it worked the way I wanted it to yesterday in short order. Now that I got that figured out, part of it was a learning process, which I've learned and figured out, and won't have to replicate that part of my training moving forward. So it is a super fast process. Shrink wrap depends on heat, right? And I didn't buy a heat gun. I was like, I'll get to it, right? Well, I wanted to do one yesterday for a specific package because it didn't look like, it was a bottle of cleanser, lotion, moisturizer, whatever, liquid that seemed like to me, and I am OCD about some things, as I'm sure some of y'all know. Not a clinical term, just a layman's OCD. Maybe clinical, I don't know. I don't go to clinics, but anyway, it looked like it should have some sort of box or some sort of outer packaging. It's the way I got it. It's the way I got it off the shelf. And many things are on the shelf. You just pick it up, right? But it looked like it needed something else. And I'm not sure this gave into it, but it gave me an excuse to use it. It's a little pump liquid, right? So it must be some sort of, I don't know, moisturizer or lotion or whatever. I probably could have looked, but I didn't. At any rate, bought it for $4, sold it for $25. Can't be mad about that. Like $3.80 I bought it for. So beautiful thing there. Now it was over a pound. I knew that going into it, but I made a small box for it, fit it into a flat rate envelope. So still pulled decent cash out of that one. Probably after everything was said and done for a 24, that's 4, 12, 16, about $8 off of a $3.80-something investment. I am getting faster at making boxes, but I wanted to to tell you that I didn't have the heat gun, and it doesn't look like much without the shrink, right? So I'm sitting over the stove, guys, trying to get this heat to actuate. I made it work. So definitely wouldn't recommend that. I could definitely see putting it on the stove or on maybe a pizza stone or something like that, and then torching it. Not with a torch, but you get my point. I did have a lighter back from 3 years ago when I quit smoking, 3.5 years ago, whatever it's been. Wow, it's been a while. But I thought it might make the plastic black, you know. Also, the direct heat might burn a hole in it, so I didn't go that route. But overall, I got to use it. The sealer worked pretty darn good. Now, when I first did it, and you make contact, it's a foot actuated sealer. When you first make contact, like nothing happens. Light doesn't come on, it doesn't get hot. But then there's an additional press once it makes contact that actually turns the sealer on. I am going to take a look at adjusting the pedal to make that more comfortable, because where I thought it was going to be is not where it actually is as far as the on button of the foot angle. So now I've got to step way high and then push way down. So I'm going to see if I can't do anything about that. But overall, guys, I was pleased with it. I think it'll step up my game on a few things. I do believe, like, I do have, I have a long-haired shepherd, right? I mean, she maybe not as long as I've seen some of them as bushy, but needless to say, hair gets everywhere. And even with constant sweeping, it's an issue with things like clothing and attracting, So it would be nice to bring the clothing into a controlled room that she's not allowed in, which I have such a room where the sealer's at, and at any rate, detag and bag and seal that merge before it ever enters the rest of the house. And then there's like, you wouldn't even have to shrink wrap it. You could just, tag and bag and be done. Leave it with the barcode out and put it into a tote in order to be cataloged. Like, that could just be part of the inbound process that would eliminate the need for a lint roller, the need for having such a cautious eye for that as they're leaving. Not only that, I think it would be a service to the customer. I think I'd be getting a little closer to right. I mean, in a store, you don't have to necessarily deal with issues like dog hair. And I mean, there's lots and lots of pet owners, dogs and cats alike, that, a piece of hair is not, the end of the world, but it's not something you expect coming out of something you bought online. So to eliminate that is phenomenal. I know the last set of clothing that I did, as far as cataloging, I did a whole tote at one time, and it had never been into the house. It was actually, I did it while I was at a hotel for a family thing. And since it had gone straight from the truck to inside the tote, had never hit the house, the product was much better coming out of the tote than anything else, because it hadn't been, around any possible dog hair. So rather than having to look each one over for, a few strands of dog hair or whatever to make sure that's not on there when it goes out, I was able just to put them in bags, and move, which is closer to right. So I think that sealer is going to be huge. The amount of packages that went out over the last few days was uplifting. Definitely not breaking records, but definitely paying bills. Definitely. So I can't be mad about that. Seems like, and it may just be me, but it seems like we've gotten more road noise lately than we normally do, and I don't know how that's possible. I know I heard a little bit of it in a previous video, and I apologize for that. I know when, and it is a completely different subject, but I know when I do carpeting and the the headliner. I'm going to put in those insulated pads. But I think the most pressing issue with the videos moving forward is we're coming up on summer, and I need to get the air conditioner fixed. Y'all aren't going to be able to listen when the windows are down, and I'm not doing videos sweating. I'm just not doing it. But on the subject of the seasons changing, my dog is starting to lose her winter coat, so just the very beginning of it. But if her body is telegraphing anything to me, then the bulk of winter is over, and that's a beautiful thing. I like the summer. The winters are cool too, but I do like the summer. Of course, in the winter you can always put more clothes on, but in the summer you can only take off so many before you get arrested. So that is what it is. I might need to get the bike fixed more often. I've seen people with certain helmets do videos on the way to work and things like that. That could be cool, actually. So maybe I'll look into that, and y'all can just see the traffic and my ride to work. So let me know if y'all might be interested in something like that. Might buy a special helmet and make that happen. So, but I got to get the bike fixed first. It's neat, such simple things, but when I was first starting my business, I wasn't going to pay any extra money out of pocket to anything that wasn't an absolute need. And I think the bike hasn't been working for the last 2 years because of $120 worth of work or something. It's just senseless. But I really wanted the business to blossom, and it has. And it's time to take time to do some of those things that I intentionally neglected in order to support the business. It's time, and I have the ability to take care of those. So I will in the coming months. And we'll continue to improve this channel, guys. If you made it this far, thank you so very much. I do appreciate it. I know that there's something inside of me that really wants to get these things off of my chest and share them with the world. And other than that, one thing that I probably ought to start doing that I haven't taken this opportunity, but I've had some reminders that life is short, is Jamie and Lexi, or Alex, I believe now. And I want to respect whatever name you choose. I love them. All right, bye. See y'all tomorrow.